What's good? All right, Monday we back. We are back at it. What's happening? Hope everybody had a great weekend. Let me do something real quick. Give me 1 second while people are flowing in the door. I got a new thing I got to do. I'm gonna make sure I read off these. Hold on 1 second. Hope everything was well, man. That was a great weekend. An interesting week of fights, man. We had a really good card. We had a travesty of a card. Man, I don't know what these dudes over there at the zone are thinking with this with that Julio Cesar Chavez nonsense, man. That boy acted a complete and utter fool. But give me 1 second because I want to make sure that I do something real quick. All right, here we go. I got it. All right, man. Before I get in, let me say what's up to the channel members first. Whether you're here or not, what's going on? Eric Jenkins, King Daniel McCrae, Mass Arms, Queen 71, CVP Jr. I am Raider Time, Good, Jay Good, Mr. Already, Crush the Legend, Jeff Roger Hollister, Hate It or Love It, Adderwild M, Lies the Punch Out, I Rock, D-Style Boxing, Richard Lawkins, CJ, Juniper B, Matthew Valentine, Juan Lejeune, Daryl Zapata, T1, our rapper, Tony Fielder, Gravy Davy, the Expert Genius, Ivan Garcia, Underground Asylum, BFTB Boxing, Emmanuel Joseph Bain, Brother Moses, Chris Jones, Sunny Boxing Talk, Ghetto Life, D Money, Gregory Wyatt, Anthony Johnson, Romero Harris, Messiah, 78 Sports TV, DJ Yo, Kenneth Johnson, Drink More Water, Sugar Fantastic, TC The Crisis, J.A. Dixon, True the God, LDBC, LCD Boxing, Home of the Demographic, Buddy Lee Sr., Mr. 704, Brian S., Daryl P. Henderson, Jeff the Producer, Jeff from Martican, Cali Enigma, and the African Sci-Fi Scholar are bringing you this show this morning. Salute to all the members that make that channel, that make the channel go. Thank you so much. And for just so you know that the people that I named are all the people that got the little green buttons. Thank you guys for joining the channel. Let me say thank you to my regulars that come through. Donald, the 64-year-old G, Grant, Ryan Clark, JC, B&B Boxing, Sam Alvarado, Mark Harrison, Lawrence RBE, Champions First Entertainment, South Phoenix Boxing, B&B Boxing, Star City J, the Goalkeeper 3000, Boxing and Barbecue, Carver William, and everybody else in the chat. If I miss you, Adam, Shanoya, much love in that super chat. Kennard Smith said, keep up keep up the good work. Salute LBC all day for sure, man. Much love in that super chat. Ty X, Reggie Cheese, everybody, man. Thank you guys. Most Emmanuel Joseph Bain. A matter of fact, I know I made sure that I read everybody with the green buttons because I'm reading every time. That's how we start in the chat with the members. We appreciate you guys so much for joining the membership. And also, I'm trying to find a way to get the memberships access, the members access to the Patreon as well. More than likely, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a private link to all the Patreon videos, and then I'll be able to forward you some of the Patreon videos to your email as they come out and get a group together. So we're working on that, man. We appreciate you guys being members of the channel. All right, so let's get to this. First thing first, my dog is barking. Shut up. We're going to have some people coming by the house working, so you know that's what that's about. X-Con, what's going on? I like that dog, man. Say X-Con. Can't believe I caught that. He didn't catch that shit the first time. You said Tunnelvision said, damn, that's a lot of people, man. It's growing, man. It's growing. Hey, man, join, man. Be part of the crew. We got 30,000 subscribers, so it ain't a high percentage of the subscribers. We would love to get a higher percentage, actually, members of the channel, man. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that, man. My dog ran out the house. Fuck. Sorry about that. Hey, we got a new member. Hey, man, 2 left hooks in the building. Much love, man. Let me get my composure together. My dog ran out the house on me. Clear down the block. Clear down the block on me. Jesus. He said I was dry till I took a shower this morning. What's that? Thanks, Fieldhouse Jones, man. Oh, man, Rasul Basur, man, thank you for joining, man. Man, much love, man. Thank you for joining the channel, man. All right, man, let me get a sip of coffee and we get into this. Man, I just grabbed him and tried to get back in here, man. He's running all over the fucking place. Won't stop. He ran up to a lady and I took a chance. Was like, will you grab her collar? Will you grab his collar? And she just held his collar and then I came up and was able to get him. Live live, I'm good, man. He's chasing down some trolls. Yeah, man. Oh, Lord, man. Let me get this shit together. All right, man. So let's get to this, man. Because I want to seriously, hey, man, thank you to the new members. For real, man. That is a big goal, man. I'd love to have more people, a higher percentage of the people that come be members of the channel, man. You guys are really helping out a lot. Thank you guys to my two new members, Rasul Sabor and my man, 2 left hooks. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, Zeus a beast, man. He's on my 78 said I might be a female and heat in the area. Dogs can smell coochie for miles. Hey, man, he was damn sure acting like there was something out there. I am Will. What's going on, man? I say I can't see where the membership link is. You go to what you do is you hit the $sign. If you're on your phone, you get to the $sign and you click the $sign, it'll be join, or you can go to my page and then next to the subscribe button on my homepage, it'll be a join button. I said, did you kick him like a cold? Nah, I didn't kick him, man. I'm a softy, man. I just make him lay it on his back and do some shit like that. But I'm not gonna kick him. That dog, because I don't want. Yeah, no, I didn't kick him. I don't do that to my dog. He's a good pup. He just fucking ran outside and I slipped up and let that door open. So anyway, man. Yeah, he said you love me. I love my dog, man. I love my dog, man. So look, man, let's get to this, man. Hey, Brian Kenny gave this interview, and I'm going to give a little bit of a hint, a little bit of the video that I did today that because I'm really running behind today because I got family in for the holidays. So I did this video, but I'm going to talk about it here. Look, Brian Kenny, these guys, they ask all the tough questions, right? To people that it ain't no threat to ask tough questions to. They ask tough questions to people that there's no ramifications for asking tough questions to. You got this dude, Brian Kenny, right? So I was looking at Mike Coppinger's Twitter feed because you know I'm out here. I'm a Twitter troll. I'm legit on YouTube. I'm a legit guy on YouTube. I don't troll anybody on YouTube, but my alter ego on Twitter is I'm a Twitter troll. So I'll go back and forth with trolls. I'll troll you. I don't care. I will show my whole complete ass on Twitter, right? So I go through Twitter. I watch Mike Coppinger's page. Bruce Horse said, hey, Fernand, how come people are saying Charlo is easy work for J-Rock, but only one of them has been dropped by a jab? Those Charlo hooks will make it a short night for J-Rock. I don't think, man, I don't think it's easy work. I'll get to the Charlo next because we're going to talk about Errol Spence interview because I want to get that off my chest. Then we're going to talk about the Charlo pay-per-view, and then we're going to talk about Chavez, that DAZN disaster, right? But look, man, he's willing to ask tough questions to. Oh, so anyway, so Mike Coppinger, wasn't Mike Coppinger. It was the guy from that scores for DAZN. The journalist, for some reason, is scoring fights for DAZN. I don't get that. What's his name? I think he's like with Fight Hub. What is this dude's name that is with Fight Hub that does the that has the scorecards for Fox? As if you couldn't find an ex-judge or somebody to do that shit. No, not Brian Kennedy. Yeah, Marcus Villegas. Marcus Villegas was basically complimented Kenny, whatever his fucking name is, Brian Kenny, for the tough questions that he was asking that other people wouldn't be willing to ask. And I was like, really? You're asking a boxer some fucking questions about whether or not he has a his DUI, and you got the producers are putting up pictures of policemen, sectioning off, doing all that crap. But you over the same guys at DAZN and won't ask Eddie Hearn anything about Julio Cesar Chavez ducking out of a drug test. Right? Let me make sure I understand this. He's willing to ask the tough questions, but he didn't ask Eddie Hearn anything about Julio Cesar Chavez not taking a drug test and then going over to and having to go over to having to change venues to Arizona to make the fight happen. Isn't that a tough question? Did you hear anybody at DAZN asking him that question? Did you hear because he did cover the DAZN fight, right? Did you hear him pull up when he didn't have an interview. He didn't actually have a chance to ask that question, in all fairness, because the place blew up. What a complete embarrassment for DAZN, man. That shit, I want to see where's the debacle news articles about DAZN, right? Where's the press pushing on the fact that shit was that DAZN card was an embarrassment that did not even need to happen. That was absolutely crazy. Fans Perspective, what do y'all think about Munguia versus Boo Boo next year? It's never going to happen. They won't talk about the B sample, though. No, they won't talk about the B sample. They won't talk about the B sample. They won't talk about the gloves. They won't talk about the performance-enhancing drugs. They won't even talk about in the Saudi Arabia fight. They didn't talk about the fact that half of the people on that fucking card had tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. They didn't say anything about it. I don't hear any of these guys talking about the fact that that fight that took place in Saudi Arabia was built by that there's rumors that the stadium was built by slave labor. Aren't those tough questions? Those are the tough questions. Because, not just tough to answer, but tough to ask. When you say, what are the tough questions? The ones that are tough not just the ones that are tough for them to answer, but tough for you to ask, because if you do it, you might have some problems. There's some risk for journalists that ask questions that are tough for them to ask, not just tough for people to answer. Sugar fantastic, though. Much love in that super chat. Errol should have checked him like Floyd did. That dude disrespecting fight. Hey, man, I thought he did well. He said, I'm not going to answer that. I'm not going to answer that. First, dude, I can't answer questions like that. Dude, what do you work for the DA? Are you the district attorney? You're going to try to get me to give you answer questions when I still have to go to court? Dog, mind your fucking business. How about you mind your fucking business, Kenny? Or how about this, Kenny? Before you ask me a question, before the interview takes place, you tell me what you're going to ask me. I'm going to tell you ahead of time, I'm not going to answer that shit. How about that? How about that? In Saudi Arabia, labor is legal. Slave labor is legal. It's not because of slave equivalent. But it's not the same slave equivalent to slaves in the U.S. Firstly, Rasul, I'll tell you exactly what it was. You have workers that come over from Somalia and in Northeast Africa. They come over and they have a passport. When they go over to Saudi Arabia with their passport, they're given a sponsor. That sponsor then takes possession of their passport and do not allow them to leave the country. So it is not chattel slavery. It is not indentured servitude. Whatever you want to call it, it's people that cannot leave the country unless they do work for specific people who are their sponsors. Okay? That's what I mean by that. I know it's not chattel slavery. I know they don't actually own the people straight out, but it's almost It's a distinction without a difference, man. It's a distinction without a difference. If you have involuntary servitude, you can call it what you want. That's the rumor, but I can't speak about that. Now, Rasul, let me get this straight. I can't say that I know that that's the case. That may be the case. That may not be the case. I don't know because I'm not there. I don't have any connection to it. So it could be completely innocent. It could be. The question is, are you going to ask the question? Are you going to ask the question? Right? I think it's a reasonable question to ask. Stay Ready Boxing says, salute for Nan to Don, FN, Kenny, and Kenny DD acting an ass. Fuck Kenny, Brian Kenny. What's DD acting? Oh, you gotta let me know what that is, man. Is it somewhat like an Indian Untouchables approach for Nan? No, the Indian Untouchables thing is an entire class of people. Okay, the untouchable thing is this: that you have Hinduism, and Hinduism is a caste system, right? You have, I don't know how, I'm not going to name all the castes, but the highest caste is the preachers. The lowest caste, the lowest caste are the working class, right? But then you have people that rest outside of that caste system. And the people that rest outside of that caste system are referred to as untouchables. So what they do is they have to, they are not allowed to wear shoes. They have to clean. They basically have to dig shit out of, they move dead bodies like carcasses off a road. They're completely disrespected because they sit outside of the Hindu caste system. Because Hinduism isn't just a religion. It's literally a caste system. But anyway, that's not the purpose of the channel, dog. That's not the purpose. I can't do that during the channel. You guys are always getting my channel, always getting my videos demonetized, asking me questions like that. Thanks. Oh, thanks for the wonderful knowledge. I always wondered. Oh, Rasul said, okay, I got you. I get what you mean. Oh, don't get it twisted. I'm not promoting. There you go. They cause some of the most racial people on the earth when it comes to Black Africans, always has been. Just adding on. That's what's up, Rasul. Yeah, I get what you mean. I know what you mean. What's going on, D-Style Body, the new body bag of the liar? I told you D-Style Boxing, and I'm going to say the dude's name. The guy, what's his name? What's the dude's name? That dude is literally was on a conversation with, I think it was the Cali Enigma, where he literally admitted he's a pathological liar. This is not me making fun of him. This is me telling you what he has said. I am a pathological liar. I cannot help myself. So the fact that dude would even put him on a debate with you and not say that, not tell you that the guy was a pathological liar is flat out dishonest. That guy, his name used to be McGregor Boxing. The guy is literally a self-admitted pathological liar. If you ever talk to him again, just so you know. What's going on, Reggie the Tree? Mark Perez. What is this? Crawford would have destroyed Brian Kenny's ass on that interview. I like Errol though. No, he wouldn't have. He would have sat there. He would have said exactly what he wouldn't have said shit. He wouldn't have said shit. Because hey, look, this is my thing, man. It goes both ways, okay? It goes both ways. Number one, Kenny, whatever his name is, Brian Kenny is going to ask those questions to people that he believes it's okay to ask those questions to. He's going to embarrass the people that he thinks it's okay to embarrass, right? Because there's not going to be any pushback from the people that hired him for trying to embarrass Errol Spence Jr. Did you listen to him on the other hand? Listen to how he treated, not Dan Goosen. What's the guy's? It's not Dan Goosen. What's the name of the Goosen that's in the that's a commentator that he was on the call with? What's his name? What's the Goosen's name? The first name of Goosen. I know there's Dan Goosen and there's the other Goosen. The Goosen that's the trainer, Joe Goosen. He apologized, literally apologized so much to Joe Goosen that Joe Goosen had to tell him to stop apologizing. He was like, dude, will you stop apologizing to me? You've apologized so much, I don't even know what you're apologizing for. That's what Joe Goosen said to him. So Kenny, Mr. Brave, Brian Kenny, who's so tough that he can call Floyd Mayweather Jr. a paper champion, and he can ask these inappropriate questions to Errol Spence Jr., is so nervous about disagreeing with Joe Goosen that he apologized to him over and over and over and over again. And Joe Goosen, go back and watch the fight. Joe Goosen said, will you please stop apologizing to me? You apologize so much, I don't even know what you're apologizing for anymore. Stop being a pussy. Basically, that's what he told him. Stop being a pussy. Stop apologizing to me. I'm a grown-ass man. If I got a call wrong, the last Jermell Charlo, because I thought Jermell Charlo was winning the fight, and he lost it. Okay, whatever. But stop apologizing to me for it. He won't ask those type of questions. He won't ask. The dude was scared. Did he apologize to Lennox Lewis for the same thing? Lennox Lewis is sitting there. He ain't apologizing to Lennox Lewis. He's only apologizing to Joe Goosen. Why? Why do you think it's so important to apologize to Joe Goosen? But you ain't scared of trying to embarrass Errol Spence, who will whoop your ass, or Lennox Lewis, who will also whoop your ass. Why you have so much respect for Joe Goosen? Do you like the way why you just like the way his voice sounds or something? I'm trying to understand what's the difference. Why are you so worried about Joe Goosen, but you're not worried about anybody else? Why will you ask tough questions to Errol Spence, but you lob softballs at Eddie Hearn? I wonder. Inquiring minds want to know. I definitely want to know. But I already know why. I already know why. It's innate in you. You think you better than those other dudes. In the back, it's same reason. And this is my belief on this. I don't believe it's anything that they think about. I don't think it's something they plan to do. I think it is his opinion that deep down in his heart, he believes that he is better than Errol Spence Jr. And he thinks he's better than Lennox Lewis is. But he doesn't think he's better than Joe Goosen. Same way Larry Merchant would. Larry Merchant literally thought that he was better than Floyd Mayweather Jr. So delusional is he that he said, if this was 50 years ago, I would beat your ass. What? Let me see something. When was that? In 20, what was that, like 20, just say it was 2010. Say it was 2010 that happened, okay? I know it's probably a little later than that, but just say it was 2010. 50 years before 2010 was 1960. 1960, who was the welterweight champion of the world in 1960? 1960, I don't think Sugar Ray Robinson was still at his peak in 1960. No, who was the welterweight champion in 1960? Let me do my research. Let me see. WBA, who's the W? Keith Thurman. I know how to do it. Keith Thurman. Box rec. I know I'll do Keith Thurman, box rec, and let's figure out who the WBA. Actually, I got to do it through Manny Pacquiao because Manny Pacquiao had the WBA regular. Let's see who had the WBA regular title in 1960. 40 years ago. 1962, it was Emil Griffith. 1962, it was Emil Griffith. You think he was going to whoop Emil Griffith's ass in 1960, Larry Merchant? That's who the welterweight champion was in 1960. If this fucking idiot could have beaten, yeah, thank you, Elvis, it was Emil Griffith. If this dude would have kicked Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s ass 50 years ago, he would have had a good show. Why wasn't he fighting Emil Griffith for the WBA for the WBA welterweight title. Sounds kind of ludicrous, doesn't it? But literally, this dude thinks that in his mind, dude. Live Live said, Fanon, a lot of these guys like Kenny was always punks back in high school, and now with a little bit of power, they want to be tough guys. Look, man, I'm telling you, these dudes do not. I'm telling you, these guys don't even think about what they're saying. They can't. It's in them. It's in them. It's not a fucking just an opinion. It is a true sense of superiority that they feel, because that's the only logical explanation for why they behave in the fashion that they behave in. It's not anything that they do inconsistently. It's not that they do this inconsistently. They do it consistently. And you see it in pretty much every interaction that they have. This guy, Brian Kenny, called Floyd Mayweather Jr. a paper champion. A paper champion. This is Floyd Mayweather Jr. They called him a paper champion. And Marcos Villegas said, oh, he's asking the tough questions. No, he's not. He's a prick with a sense of superiority. Who, by the way, isn't even that damn good at his job, because Joe Goosen sounds better on a mic than he does. I'm listening to Joe Goosen, and I'm like, damn, Joe Goosen he sounds like an announcer. Did you ever notice that? That Joe Goosen, if you don't look at who's speaking, and you just listen to the telecast, you cannot tell the difference in the voice between Joe Goosen and the voice that Kenny is faking. So Dan Goosen actually, the voice has a more, what is it? He has the better voice, but see, what voice are these guys faking? That's the voice that they're faking. It's irritating, so it's obvious disrespect to me. The double standard is extra real. Look, man, I'm trying to tell you, these dudes just think they're better. Period. They think they're better, and they really can't fucking deal with the fact that they're not. And you see it consistently. You see it consistently. Now, did you ever hear to the point that Black Fight Fan TV brought up today? Yes, sir, which was great, because we'll switch to the Charlo fight now, right? Did you know how they were saying that the showboating that was going on with Tony Harrison? You remember that? The showboating that was going on with Tony Harrison? They criticized the showboating for Tony Harrison. Have you ever heard them criticize Lomachenko for showboating? Ever? Do you ever hear them criticizing Tyson Fury for showboating? It shows that he is in complete and utter control when it's him, right? Sticking his tongue out from halfway across the ring. And look at how he stuck his. So entertaining. So entertaining. Oh, he's in complete control. Look how relaxed. Fury or Lomachenko. Lomachenko, when he was fighting at 130, was one of the most disrespectful pricks in boxing. Disrespectful pricks. Going to the corner, doing this shit like andale, all that shit. Oh, he's the Matrix. Oh, it's so incredible. So incredible. Never seen the likes of it. What do you mean? They even giving this dude credit for changing angles. Like, oh my God, I've never seen anybody with the incredible footwork. He changed angles. He pivoted his back foot. That shit is not, what do you mean? You've never seen that shit before. Were you not? Oh, you must not be looking. You just don't look, right? Ali was despised for it because, quite honestly, the shit's tacky. The shit's tacky, and it doesn't score because you're supposed to be a gentleman. See, that's what it is. See, you're supposed to be a gentleman, okay? And if you don't behave like a gentleman, and let me tell you why it's the gentlemanly sport. Have you ever heard that, like, boxing is a gentleman's sport? The reason why it's considered, even though you're trying to beat the piss out of somebody, is how boxing was founded. Boxing in Great Britain was founded as a reasonable means by which to defend your pride, right? and it replaced stiletto blades, right? Stiletto blades, swords, and pistols. So they were like, look, we got to find a way to where if somebody disrespects somebody else, we can have some rules and some order, and they can justify, and then they can handle their dispute in a gentlemanly fashion, right? So back then, they didn't think that a fight was like you're a hoodlum for fighting, right? Everybody was fucking fighting, right? If you said some shit bad about somebody's wife, you slapped somebody's wife on the ass, you were being a bitch if you didn't handle your business. You can't, because you weren't being a man. You were disrespecting your family. You were being a coward. If somebody walked up to you and slapped you with a glove and you walked away, no, dude, you were a complete punk. So people were supposed to fight, right? But boxing was a gentlemanly sport because you weren't stabbing somebody or you weren't shooting somebody, right? That's the origin of it. Now it's illegal, just like shooting somebody was illegal, stabbing somebody was illegal, but society knew what was going on and they didn't police it heavy. As long as you were outside of the city limits and you did it way away from people, you were cool. So that's why they call it the gentlemanly way of doing it. So what we're doing by punching each other isn't brutal heathenism compared to what people were doing before. It's gentlemanly. But when certain people do it, the same thing, they are being rude and discourteous. But when other people do it, they're being scientific, and they're being scientific, and they are being gentlemanly. They are just far superior and communicating their superiority. And you see, and now I'm telling you, it's so ingrained in people like Brian Kinney that they don't even know that they're doing it when they're doing it. And then when you tell them that's what you're doing and you point it out to them, it's like a reverse hallucination. Like, you know, you have hallucinations where somebody can hypnotize you and make you see a cup where there's not a cup, right? Well, you can do a reverse hallucination and make you see a cup that really isn't there. And that's what these dudes do. I think truly in their mind that they have never seen anybody do what Vasily Lomachenko's doing, because that would dictate that that would mean that they would have to credit other people with doing things that their favorite fighters can't do. So it never really appears until it's a fighter that they can associate themselves with. They run to the victim mode. Oh my God, man. Like, didn't Brian, wasn't how many times in the telecast for Sergey Kovalev versus Canelo Alvarez did they bring up the fact that Sergey Kovalev has a outstanding case for assault? Assault, right? Not a car accident where you a self-inflicted wounds through a car accident, but from going into a woman's house, punching her in the stomach, kicking her dog. Did you hear anything about that out of any of these brave commentators' mouths? Any of it? Did you ever hear that? Where do you hear it? Right here. You hear it here. This is the only place that you're going to get somebody brave enough to mention what everybody in the fucking world knows. Okay? Sergey Kovalev, did HBO ever ask him why he's putting chimpanzee pictures with the head of, Donna Steven with the head of a chimpanzee on his son's shirt? Did you ever hear them do that or ask him about that ahead of the Andre Ward fight? Or the video or the Instagram things that he put out about Andre Ward ahead of time? Did you hear anybody asking him these brave questions about that? No. But like I said, when it's somebody that you don't feel there's any ramifications for doing it, oh, then you're big Mr. Brave guy. Because you know Errol Spence Jr. is not going to slap you in the mouth. Brian Kenny is comfortable in the notion that Errol Spence is not going to turn around and slap him in the mouth and then say, what you going to do about it? But Joe Goosen, oh no, I got to respect Joe Goosen. Got to respect Joe Goosen. So much that Joe Goosen literally said, man, he figuratively said, will you get off my nuts, Brian? Please get off my nuts. Anyway, the rules will always change for them. They just like they love knockouts until Wilder started KO people. Oh, it's all about the knockout. It's all about excitement when it's Deontay Wilder. It's all about technique, and it's all about knockouts and getting a knockout when you're talking about Manny Pacquiao, right? When the surrogate Manny Pacquiao is there, it's all about knockouts. That's why Manny Pacquiao deserves fighter of the decade over the guy that beat his ass, over the guy that beat him easy going away, Floyd Mayweather, because, he gave the fans what he wanted to see. He gave them knockouts. It's exciting. But now Canelo Alvarez is the face of the decade. He ain't even fucking fought. How the hell is Canelo Alvarez the face of the decade? And him? Dog, you can't make this shit up. The fights of the decade, right? The guys that were the face of the decade were Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, and Canelo Alvarez. Did somebody miss the career of Andre Ward? Did somebody miss the career of Andre Ward? Why in the fuck? Oh, Andre Ward and Deontay Wilder. But let's just leave Deontay Wilder, let's just leave Deontay Wilder out of it for a second. And let's go to the American gold medalist who won fights, who won belts at 168 and 175, who was the number one pound for pound fighter, ain't lost since he was 12 years old, beat Carl Froch, beat Mikhail Kessler, beat Sergey Kovalev, knocked Sergey Kovalev out, beat, what about him? Why is Canelo Alvarez's career better than Andre Ward's? Can somebody enlighten me as to why that could possibly be the case? How that could possibly be the case? He ain't never tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Never been suspended for that. You can't find anybody that the dude ducked. But yet, was the consensus, dude was the best fighter from the day Floyd Mayweather Jr. retired to the day he retired. He was the best fighter in boxing. But he's not in the conversation about being the best fighter of the decade, and Canelo Alvarez is. When Canelo Alvarez got by on the skin of his teeth, the only good fight that Canelo Alvarez has won was Gennady Golovkin 2. That's literally the best fight that he had is Gennady Golovkin 2. Somebody, and I liked him as a fighter, but somebody tell me of a fight what is the signature fight for Canelo Alvarez? He's known because he got bigger pay-per-views than other people are getting now. He fought Julio Cesar Chavez. Where is this great performance out of Canelo Alvarez? He lost to Floyd Mayweather Jr. He fought and he got a draw against Gennady Golovkin, and he beat Gennady Golovkin in the second fight. What is it, Danny Jacobs? Was it Danny Jacobs? Who is the guy that made him? Who is the guy? What is the fight that put Canelo in the running for fighter of the decade? That's nothing but money. That's nothing but money. Now, he's a very skilled fighter, without a doubt, but that's nothing but money. That's the only reason that you would consider that to be the case. The only reason. Danny was his best, if you ask me. Yeah, Danny Jacobs, who had already been knocked out by Pirog. He'd been knocked out by Pirog. The Dude, there's literally nobody there that's of a caliber of the Kovalev win, an undefeated Kovalev that Andre Ward beat 2 times at the top of his game. Come on, man. But hey, man, y'all don't want to support. Yeah, you know what it is. But they're brave for the things that but Brian Kinney's brave. How the fuck is this dude brave? All the money he's getting, all the money this dude is getting from 2 networks to say just what to harass somebody about a DUI, and he's brave. Dude, the question is, when is he coming back to the sport of boxing? And my DUI is none of your fucking business, okay? It's none of your business. Hey, Brian, have you ever got behind the wheel of a car and drank before? You ever had a car accident before? Do you remember when the brave Jim Lampley was getting on top of Floyd Mayweather Jr. for his domestic violence, but yet he had domestic violence issues himself? Max Kellerman got a domestic set on him. Jim Lampley got a domestic set on him. Sergey Kovalev got a domestic set on him. Canelo Alvarez popping dirty. You got Eddie Hearn getting busted, not going, got this whole ticket scamming shit he got going on, but you're brave to ask a dude about a DUI. Tyson Fury with his PEDs, but see, his PEDs and drug abuse, no, that is something he climbed back from. He's a success story because you got to understand that he's returning to the greatness that was his since birth. How many cases does Oscar have? Oh, man, come on. Come on, dog. How many? I don't even know. I don't even know, but I know of one, including one engaged with a minor, the other one gross sexual, involving a perversion. Come on, man. Messiah. It has to be Floyd. He beat Manny, Pac, and Canelo in the same decade. I mean, look, let me see, man, about this. Here's the thing, man. Most of Floyd's stuff was in the beginning from 2000 to 2005. But let me see. I'll address it. Floyd, but I got to remember the years. I remember the fights. Hopefully the autocorrect what I just put in there because I don't feel like doing it. Floyd Mayweather Jr., Pretty Boy Floyd. Active years was 96 to 2007. So we're talking about 2010 forward. Okay, so Victor Ortiz, Miguel Cotto, Robert Guerrero, Saul Alvarez, the Maidana's fights, and Manny Pacquiao. Okay, that's 2010 to 2015, right? Manny Pacquiao, what did he do past 2010? Past 2010, he started with 2010 is Margarito, Mosley, Marquez. Dude has lost 4 times this decade. He's lost 1, 2, 3, 4 times since 2010. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Dude, he's 12-4 since 2000. Get out of here. 2000. Get out of here. Since 2010. What is Ward? We know he's undefeated. But I think the majority of Andre Ward's career has existed since 2010. Or career 2004 to 2004. What? Okay, so let's see what he's 2010. Dude, that's everything he did. Mikhail Kessler, Alan Green, Saki Obika, Andre Abraham, Carl Froch, Chad Dawson, and 2 Kovalevs. I think that's pretty damn good. But it is what it is. I'm just saying, hey, I don't really care, man, about who the fighter of the decade is and all that. Because I already know who it's going to go to. It's going to go to Manny Pacquiao. Okay? It's not going to go to Floyd Mayweather Jr. It's going to go to Manny Pacquiao. ESPN more than likely is going to do Manny Pacquiao. Rings more than likely going to do Manny Pacquiao. If they do Floyd Mayweather Jr., that would be way too much like right, dude. Way too much like right. Let me go back here. Hey, man, we got 417 people in the building. Man, I only got 159 likes, man. If you would not mind, please be active. Hit the like button. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. But do something. Either hit like or dislike. Don't just sit here and float around for no good reason, okay? Does anyone have a better resume? Does anyone have a better resume than Floyd? He has fought. Has anyone fought more champions than Floyd? That Frizzle Rocks, that's a very, very loaded and unnecessary statistic. Okay. First of all, there's a ton of champions, tons of them. Okay, because there's 4 championships in every division. There's twice as many divisions. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is a great fighter. Everybody knows it. There's no taking away from it. Since the year 2000, he's definitely the top fighter in boxing since the year 2000. Okay. I don't see that there's any good argument other than that. And definitely not Manny Pacquiao, because he beat Manny Pacquiao. And Juan Manuel Marquez knocked out Manny Pacquiao. And Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao. And Tim Bradley beat Manny Pacquiao. Okay? There's just no reason for it. And it can't be Canelo Alvarez, because Floyd Mayweather Jr. beat Canelo Alvarez. He beat Canelo Alvarez easily. And Canelo Alvarez got a draw with Gennady Golovkin. It's just the only person that could make that argument is somebody like a Deontay Wilder, who's got how many knockouts does he have in the last 10 years? I mean, over the last 10 years? But they will never give it to Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder has been undefeated for the whole decade, which is something that Manny Pacquiao didn't do, and it's something that Canelo Alvarez didn't do. Since 2010, Jesus Christ. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Shit, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 34. He's 34-0 with 32 knockouts. In the same 10 years, he's 34-0 with 32 knockouts over that decade. With 10 title defenses of a major championship belt. That's pretty fucking deep. Okay? That's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. Andre Ward has 1, 2. He won it green 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 title defenses over the same amount of time. And only 9 fights. Yeah, dude. Deontay Wilder put a lot more work in than any of these other guys, dude. But that's not even up for consideration. It's not going to they're never even going to consider a guy with 32 knockouts over that same time frame and one of the longest championship reigns in boxing history. They're not even going to, spill my coffee. They're not even going to mention him in that conversation. You know why? Because they're not trying to sell him. That's what that is. Scrapbook Boxing was good. He said, very impressive. He was 21 when he started. Yeah, man, salute Scrapbook Boxing, man. The Scrapbook, the great. Yeah, man. I mean, but they're never going to give him that credit because these guys they're not trying to sell him. They're trying to sell you Canelo Alvarez. They're still they're not even trying. I mean, you got Eddie Hearn trying to get on board with trying to snatch Manny Pacquiao. I think they're still trying to sell Manny Pacquiao in hopes that they can get Manny Pacquiao. Now, let's get to the last discussion over here, though. Okay? And that is the ridiculous crap that happened in Arizona. Man, let that have been a PBC card. Okay? Let that be let me describe to you a fight. Okay? And if you tell me, I'm not even, are we overlooking the great hype Lomachenko? Of course I am. Lomachenko, of course. Of course. Lomachenko about to get, Laz the punch out, my bad. He said, hey, man, what's good, Fanon? Bro, Laz the punch out. Much love in that super chat, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the support, man. Thank you. The police would have been there. Facts. No, let me describe a fight for you. Let me describe a fantasy fight. Okay? Deontay Wilder fights Arthur Szpilka. No, he already fought Arthur Szpilka. So Deontay Wilder fights a former, what was a good example of a heavyweight? Maybe Ike Abuchi. I'll do that one. Yeah. Deontay Wilder fights Ike Abuchi. Right? Who had been in prison for some years. I don't think he ever lost. He might have lost one. He fights, Ike Abuchi. He fights, David Haye is good. David Haye, great. Deontay Wilder fights David Haye. David Haye is going to be tested. David Haye but no, I can't do that shit because he got to miss weight too. So it doesn't work unless I'll just go through the scenario. Daniel Jacobs has a fight announced with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. First things first, why is he fighting him? Julio Cesar Chavez, and I know people get mad at me for calling people a bum, but in boxing parlance, he's a bum. Okay? Nobody thinks, in their right mind, thinks Julio Cesar Chavez has any chance whatsoever of beating Daniel Jacobs. So it's a mismatch from the beginning. But then you have a mismatch. Then he goes from a mismatch to not being tested, skipping out and refusing to be tested for performance-enhancing drugs. Thank you. Tomato can. That works better. And Mahari Nation Sports Podcast, much love in that super chat, said, Eddie Hearn took a major dump on Muhammad Ali Act. The U.S. government should have stopped the fight and stripped Eddie Hearn's promotional license garbage. Much love. So, first he fights a tomato can that has no chance. Then the tomato can that has no chance skips on a performance-enhancing drug test. And instead of canceling the fight and putting in Daniel Jacobs with somebody that is a more competitive fight, right? They double down and they move the venue to Arizona. So they forum hop to Arizona. Basically say, F Arizona, they move over there. Then, so the tomato can, non-competitive tomato can, has been tomato can, wasn't bad enough. Then the dude won't take a drug test. That's 2. Then he misses weight. So after he misses weight, that guy has to give up $1 million. That's strike 3. Then he gets into the ring looking like a melted ice cream cone with mental problems and proceeds to quit in the middle of the fight and have the entire fight then become a danger zone where people start throwing objects into the ring, complaining about how the guy quit. And these media people say next to nothing about it. Next to nothing about the fact that security had to clear out the arena because there was a riot in the arena. They don't say anything about it. Nothing. Could you imagine if that was an Adrian Bronner fight? If that was an Adrian Bronner fight, what they would do about that? It would have been all over the place. But the media is complicit because the media is paid for access. And they have the same relationship with DAZN that they had with HBO, or not HBO. They got the same with Matchroom that they got with Top Rank, which is say next to nothing about any type of scandal associated with them. The same way that they used to treat Don King as if Don King was the biggest crook in history, but never mentioned that Bob Arum was literally admitted bribing the IBF for rankings. But the Muhammad Ali Act was all about Don King, but not mum's the word on Bob Arum. Bob Arum just got done lying again on Errol Spence Jr. Quick to believe it. Bob Arum was just out there, and this is for you Terrence Crawford fans that are members of this channel. Y'all will believe whatever it is Bob says as long as that shit fits what you want to believe. Errol Spence Jr., I know Bob, you know who Bob Arum knows? Who he definitely knows? Like on a one-to-one basis in a phone call that Bob Arum can make quite easily. That is Mauricio Sulaiman. Does anybody believe that Eddie Hearn does not know how to call Mauricio Sulaiman? Does anybody guess or wonder whether or not Eddie Hearn can call Mauricio Sulaiman? Mauricio Sulaiman is the head of the WBC, right? No conspiracy theory here. No conspiracy theory. Bob Arum knows Mauricio Sulaiman well enough to call Mauricio Sulaiman and ask Vasily Lomachenko if Vasily Lomachenko can get a franchise belt. So he has the number, okay? He has the number, right? Why does Bob Arum then need to have some secret squirrel relationship with somebody to tell them what the medical report said for Errol Spence Jr. when the WBC hasn't? The WBC, after the accident, Errol Spence Jr.'s accident, got a medical report because they needed proof that Errol Spence Jr. was not going to be out of boxing for the foreseeable future. And if that was the case, the WBC would have moved Errol Spence Jr. into champion in recess. Does anybody recall what happened with Devin Haney? You guys remember what happened with Devin Haney? Devin Haney had shoulder injury, and Devin Haney was put in champion in recess because of the medical report that was given to the WBC. They have a mechanism in place for that. Errol Spence Jr. is the WBC champion. Mauricio Sulaiman said that he got the report and that he was cleared and that this is not going to be anything. It's not going to be a situation where Errol Spence Jr. is going to miss time. So there's no need to put him in recess. Do you think Eddie Hearn, do you think that Bob Arum has the ability, if he wanted to call Mauricio Sulaiman and have a conversation with him? I think so. Scrapbook Box say you're right, Fanon. In 1980, Alan Minter, after calling Marvin Hagler the N-word, his countrymen threw everything in the ring anti-Hagler when he loved Minster. In the third round. You're gonna correct that or something? They stripped Thurman too. Yeah, they did, because they took a while to strip Thurman, but they stripped him. So look, the long story short of this is this. Bob Arum just said that shit to throw doubt over Errol Spence Jr. because he don't want the Errol Spence Jr. fight. Never did. When talking about the Errol Spence Jr. fight, Bob Arum said Al Heyman didn't even exist. But yet you guys that are supporting Terrence Crawford want to act like it's PBC not trying to make the fight. You guys got selective. You guys are real selective when you choose to believe people. And then you come to my chats and say, why is Errol Spence Jr. ducking everybody? Dude, he literally just fought Sean Porter. He literally just unified the IBF and the WBC belt. He just unified in his last fight. What reason? Why would you say that he's ducking? Why would you say that he's not fighting anybody? He just fought Sean Porter. He got into the ring to call out Sean Porter after the Sean Porter fight. Where was man? Hey, where? Somebody answer this question for me. Answer this question for me. Where was Bud Crawford during the Terrence Crawford Sean Porter fight? Was he in the ring? Was he at the fight? Was he? No, he was not. Not at the fight. Where was he during the last weekend? He was at a DAZN fight. He was on the DAZN card. He gave an interview on DAZN. Right? Didn't he give an interview on DAZN for the Maurice Hooker fight? That's not ESPN. If he can go to a DAZN fight, why can't he go to if he can go to a DAZN fight, why can't he go to a PBC fight? Inquiring minds want to know. But y'all don't really want that dude to fight nobody, man. You don't want him to fight. Y'all don't want that fight. Y'all want to sit around and say how he can win that fight. Hey, Bud could have went to the Jermell Charlo fight, right? He could have went to Jermell Charlo, Tony Harrison, and called Jermell Charlo out. Hey, if you can't get a fight there, hey, go beat somebody up at 154. They said, oh, Bud was using Twitter fingers, though. Yeah, come on, man. Hey, I don't believe Bud. I'm telling you right now, I don't believe Bud. I don't believe Bob Arum either. Why is everyone excusing Keith Thurman? I'm not excusing Keith Thurman. I just don't care about Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman fought Manny. I was on Keith Thurman's neck for 2 years. The same way I'm on Bud. Same reason, too. Same reason. The difference is between Keith Thurman and Terrence Crawford is that Keith Thurman was only Keith Thurman just didn't fight one guy, Errol Spence. Keith Thurman actually fought Danny Garcia and Sean Porter. He actually fought him. Bud ain't fought nobody. And I'm wondering when you guys are going to actually say, hey, man, Bud's been a champion in welterweight for 2 years. Is it always Bud's fault? Y'all sound like my son with that crap. Sound like my son with that crap. Talking to my son, hey, man, you're in trouble in school. Everybody's saying that you're disrespectful to the teacher. I didn't do nothing. Oh, everybody's saying that you're disrespectful to the teacher, but everybody's just making that shit up, right? How long is it going to be before it's your fault, son? How many times do people got to say the same thing before? The first time you said it was the teacher's fault, okay. The second time, I'm not really believing you. The third time, forget it. The fourth time, definitely forget it. But you keep coming up with the same thing. Year one with Jeff Horn, cool. That's how you got the belt. Jose Benavidez, okay, if needs be. Amir Khan, okay, now you're getting ridiculous. Green Machine, okay, I guess that's kind of in the Jeff Horn book. But we're on welterweight fight number 4 now. We're on welterweight fight number 4 now. What's next? You know who they're talking about next? Texera at 154 pounds. Who's next for Bud? And is it going to be Errol Spence Jr.'s fault when he fights who? Alexander Boost Putin? Who's next? It's going to be Errol's fault, right? It's going to be Mike. Errol's going to fight Danny Garcia or Manny Pacquiao, but it's going to be Danny Garcia and Manny Pacquiao's fault that Bud is fighting boo-boo who the fuck. Right? Green Machine was his mandatory. Yeah, that's why Juniper P, that's why I put Green Machine in the same boat as Jeff Horn. Okay? Jeff Horn, that was for the belt. Okay, I got it. The two in between and the mandatory. Okay, but now we're at, I'm saying right now we're at 4. I'm saying, what about next, Juniper B? What about next? What about the next fight? What's this, December? What about April? What about April? Who do you expect? And I'm asking Bud fans, who do you expect to see him fight in April? What should he do in April? I've been saying Sean Porter, but he says he's not interested in Sean Porter because Sean Porter ain't got a belt. I would take Ugas. He ain't mentioning Ugas either. He's not mentioning Ugas. Stanley Fields said, Bud said he ain't going to be forced to fight Porter. Can you imagine a backlash if Spence said he isn't going to be forced to fight Bud? Look, man, Stanley Fields, yes, I can imagine the backlash. It would be the same backlash that Errol Spence got for this. By y'all. Errol Spence Jr. was in the ring with Sean Porter, calling out Sean Porter. The whole reason that he was there was to call out Sean Porter, and the winner of Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, whoever it was, that's who he wanted to fight to get the WBC belt. By the way, he was in the WBC rankings before, but Keith Thurman wouldn't fight him. So he had to go the IBF route. So when he goes back the WBC route, he's at a fight for the Sean Porter, Danny Garcia fight, calling out Sean Porter in the ring. Now, for you guys that say that Bud Crawford should be excused, and I agree, for a mandatory fight, right? And he should be excused for winning a belt against Jeff Horn, which I agree. Shouldn't Errol Spence Jr. be excused for calling out for a unification fight with another champion? Shouldn't he? But no, you all immediately want to say, oh, you're not calling for Terrence Crawford. He can only fight one guy at a time. He can only fight one guy at a time. But he calls out Sean Porter, and you guys are acting like he's ducking Terrence Crawford because he called out Sean Porter. When Terrence Crawford's the WBO champion, and Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford's the WBO champion, and Sean Porter's the WBC champion. But he's ducking the WBO to win the WBC. That's being a hypocrite, friend. That's being a hypocrite. Because now you guys, that's what you heard. They jumped all over him for saying that. For saying, why wouldn't I fight Sean Porter? Because that's what he meant when take the easier route. He said that when he's talking about fighting Sean Porter. Right? But Terrence Crawford won't even fight Sean Porter. Don't you see how you guys are looking a little crazy? Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Terrence Crawford wants nothing with Sean Porter, who, by the way, is available. He's not had a car accident. He is highly ranked. He is highly capable, but you guys excuse him for not wanting to fight Sean Porter, for not wanting to fight Ugas. But you get on Errol Spence for saying, he didn't even say he wouldn't fight Bud. He said, I just got done calling out Sean Porter. I'm fighting Sean Porter. And then Sean Porter ducked him. Then you're like, well, why did he fight Mikey Garcia? Because Sean Porter ducked him. That's why the Mikey Garcia fight happened. Because Sean Porter ducked him. Do you not recall that? Selective. I said, oh, Jay Good, they're besties for 9. Leave them alone. Oh, because they're such good buddies. Dude, Sean Porter will fight that guy. Put the money on the table. Bob Arum put the money on the table. And Sean Porter will fight him. Give him the same money. Give Sean Porter the same money you gave Amir Khan, and Sean Porter will be there next week. next week. And his daddy said, hey, call us. We'll make the fight. Call us. We'll make the fight. And these guys are free agents. He can go wherever he wants. Sean Porter's not managed by Al Heyman. He's managed by Kenny Porter. He's managed by Kenny Porter. There's nothing even tying Sean Porter and keeping Sean Porter from making a fight. But y'all don't even want that fight, do you? Do you? No, you just y'all want to do this. You want to throw spitballs from the back of the class at people that are actually fighting people. It would be a perfect segue to the Spence. It would, especially if he knocked him out. Go to war with Sean Porter and fight the same fight against Sean Porter that you fought against Egis Kalvanakis. Because, dog, Egis Kalvanakis is a B-level fighter. Amir Khan is a over-the-hill B-level fighter. Jeff Horn is a B-level fighter. Got it? None of these guys are top fighters. Terrence Crawford has not beat a top-level fighter since Yuriorkis Gamboa. And Yuriorkis Gamboa was up 2 weight classes from featherweight. When is the last A-class fighter Terrence Crawford beat? I can tell you 2 A-class fighters, and I'm not talking about I don't care what weight class they were at. You can give him if Gamboa was an A-class fighter at featherweight at 126, cool, I'll take it. Okay, when is the last A-class fighter that Terrence Crawford's been in the ring with? I'll wait. I'll wait. A-class, the top 2 fighters in a division. You know what A-class is. You know what an A-class fighter is. He said none of that matters once he. I don't even care. I'll give him credit for whoever. I'll give him credit for whoever. Whoever. The top guy at 140 before Bud got there was Danny Garcia and Lucas Matisse. Did Terrence Crawford fight Lucas Matisse? Did he fight Danny Garcia? It's like I can tell you Danny Garcia beat Amir Khan when Amir Khan at a weight class where Amir Khan was still considered a top fighter. I can tell you Danny Garcia beat Lucas Matisse when Lucas Matisse was supposed to be the man. Okay? I can at least name that. Danny Garcia's resume is as good as Terrence Crawford's. Easy. Mary Nation said Gamboa also had a long layoff. But I think look, man, don't get me twisted. Much love in that. I think that Bud Crawford can beat those guys. Benavidez ain't no A-level fighter. That dude, I'm sorry. Soundix. He didn't fight David Benavidez, okay? He didn't fight David Benavidez, okay? Jeff Horn, like I said, let me know when you an A-level fighter. An A-level fighter. You think Jeff Horn is an A-level fighter? Jeff Horn has never been a top 5 welterweight. No point in time in his career has he been one of the top 5 welterweights. No. At no point. At no point. Ken Brook, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, all those guys are better welterweights than Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn had a good win. He had a good win against Manny Pacquiao. That's it. That is not an A-level fighter, friend. That's not an A-level fighter. Let me ask you a question. Who has Terrence Crawford ever been in the ring with on the level of a Kell Brook or on the level of a Sean Porter? Either one, or Mikey Garcia. And Mikey Garcia counts because Mikey Garcia was at 140 and 135, the same weight classes that Buds were at. Name somebody that Terrence Crawford has fought that is on the same level as a Kell Brook, a Sean Porter, or a Mikey Garcia. I'll wait. Man, man, get out of here with the Jose Benavidez. Be serious. Okay, be serious. And let me give you, no, we don't disagree. We disagree because you're wrong. That shit is stupid. Okay? That shit's stupid. Period. That shit's stupid. Okay? If I said Carlos Ocampo, you could say I was being stupid. Okay? Because I don't know who's going to win between Carlos Ocampo and Jose Benavidez. That's a fucking toss-up. Get the fuck out of here, man. Jose Benavidez and Lamont Peterson, that's a toss-up. Get out of here. Okay? You know what? We're talking boxing here, okay? We're talking real boxing here, okay? Not interested in stupid shit. Okay? I'm not saying, I did not bring up Leonard Bundu. I didn't bring up Lamont Peterson. I did not bring up Ocampo. I didn't bring up those guys. All right. I didn't bring up Chris Algieri. I didn't bring up any of those guys. I didn't bring them up because they're not top level fighters. Okay. You leave Terrence Crawford's version of Carlos Ocampo the fuck out of the equation. Okay. And respect the conversation. Jose Benavidez is a Carlos Ocampo level fighter. Carlos Ocampo was undefeated too. Just get the fuck out of here, okay? Chris Algieri is a former champion too, okay? Lamont Peterson is a former champion too, all right? Leonard Bundu was a top level fighter too, okay? Keep your Leonard Bundu equivalents like Jeff Horn, because that's Jeff Horn to me. Jeff Horn is a Leonard Bundu. That's a Leonard Bundu. Just kick rocks. Kick rocks with that. Talk about somebody that's real. Here's the answer to this, dog. He hasn't. He is not. So the onus is on Terrence Crawford to fight somebody. Anybody. I don't care. Anybody. Okay? You cannot keep hiding behind the fact that he didn't fight, that Errol Spence hasn't fought him yet. You are trying to build Terrence Crawford's entire stint at the 147-pound division off the fact that Errol Spence Jr. hasn't fought him. But Errol Spence Jr. is fighting everybody else when he ain't fought nobody. And there's no way to get out of it. Just admit it. And stand up and let the guy and make the guy fight somebody. Because I don't have any doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. And carefully listen to me and what I'm saying. There's no doubt in my mind that Terrence Crawford has the ability to beat everybody in there. I believe he has the ability to beat everybody in there. I think he has the ability to beat Sean Porter. I think he's got the ability to beat Danny Garcia. I think he's got the ability to beat to beat Keith Thurman. I think he's got the ability to beat Manny Pacquiao. I think he's got the ability to beat Ugas. I think he's got the ability to beat Ennis. I think he's got the ability to beat Virgil Ortiz. I think he's got ability to beat all these guys. There's a chance he could beat Errol Spence. But he's got to fight somebody, okay? He's got to fight somebody. It's not like what happened with Errol Spence. Errol Spence was literally busting people off, okay? He beat Kell Brook. He beat him. And that's when they were like, and Sean, and these guys weren't fighting him, saying and they're on the same side of the street. That's why. But then Errol Spence pushed for the Sean Porter fight. Dude, Errol Spence didn't have to fight Sean Porter. Errol Spence Jr. could fight the same people and make the same money against anybody that he made off of dang near anybody because he's a popular fighter. Man, just stand up and make that man fight somebody, man, because you guys are making it hard on me. And I'm telling you, I switch up on people. I do. I ain't just going to be riding with a fighter for no reason. I was hardcore riding for Canelo Alvarez. Hardcore riding for Canelo Alvarez. But then Canelo Alvarez started acting like a prima donna. And there's just no way around him acting like a prima donna. Terrence Crawford is acting like a prima donna. That's true. He's acting like a prima donna. He's acting like he don't got to fight anybody but the guy that he wants to fight. I'm Terrence Crawford, and I'm going to fight Errol Spence, and I don't have to fight anybody other than him because I am the great Terrence Crawford. You're not going to force me to fight a top guy like Sean Porter. You're not going to force me to fight somebody like Ugas. Who do you think I am? Who do you think you are? I'm Hall of Fame without any of them. When he said that I'm making the Hall of Fame without any of these guys, I don't need any. That's prima donna shit. That's prima donna shit. You never heard Errol Spence Jr. say he don't need Terrence Crawford. Fuck Terrence Crawford. My career will be complete without Terrence Crawford. No, man, that's Terrence Crawford playing high and mighty, dude. Bud wants the belts because Bud wants the belts. So he's fighting Negus Kalbanakis. He fought Amir Khan. Does Amir Khan have a belt? Hey, what belt does Amir Khan have? I'll wait. That's that good old saying, I'll wait. What belt does Jose Benavidez have? I'll wait. What 147 belt did Amir Khan ever have? I'll wait. What 147-pound belt did Jose Benavidez ever have? I'll wait. None is the answer. So if he's willing to fight other people, let me tell you what Bud is waiting for. For Bob Arum to tell him who to fight. That's what he's waiting for. He's waiting on them to tell him who he's going to fight. Period. Point blank, period. And the act is getting old. The act is getting old. Period. Said Big Pointer, Dark Vader. Said Big Pointer's full mean machine and what Bud went down. See, I'm not even going to talk about the fact that it could have been rolled a knockdown because against Green Machine, because of this. It wasn't called a knockdown. If it's not called a knockdown, it's not a knockdown. It's what it is. Okay? Could have been a bad call, but the ref didn't call it a knockdown. So it is what it is. It's not a knockdown. Okay? Same thing. Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody at welter. He fought the weakest champion to get his belt. Easy. He took the easiest route of all of the champions. He had the easiest route to a belt. Easiest. Think about who people had to fight to win the belts at welterweight and who Bud fought to get his welterweight belt. Errol Spence had to fight Kell Brook to get it. He had to fight Mikey Garcia to keep it. He had to fight Sean Porter to get the WBC and keep the IBF. Manny Pacquiao had to fight Lucas Matisse. He had to get in position to get, he could have got he fought Lucas Matisse to get the WBA regular belt. Then he beat Adrian Bronner. Then he beat Keith Thurman to get the WBA super. So Lucas Matisse, Adrian Bronner, and Keith Thurman to get the WBA. That's 3 fights before Manny Pacquiao became the WBA champion. 3. Errol Spence spent his whole career at 147 pounds, right? But if you go from the time he won the belt, right? He had to beat, you could go before that. Who did Bud have to fight to get a WBO belt? Jeff Horn. That's it. That's it. He did 1/4 the work of any other champion to get his belt, and he ain't fought nobody since he got it. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Hey, thanks, Legendary Podcast. Tell me I'm lying. Bud fans, who did he have to fight to get the belt? How many fights did he have to fight to earn that belt? And who's he had to fight to keep it? Bud Crawford has had easily the easiest path to that belt. He scooted to that fucking belt. When I pledge, we call that skating. We call it skating. I'm a noob, right? I'm a noob. I pledged undergrad, right? I pledged when I was in college. Junior the Truth knows this. Some of y'all know this. I pledged in undergrad, right? So in order for me to pledge, I went through the shit to pledge. Before I could be a Kappa, before I was a noob, I went through it. Okay, I went through it. Some people join after they get out of college, and all they need to do is sign a piece of paper and write a check. They got to do two things. They write a check and they sign a piece of paper. And they turn it in, and now they can wear they're a same member of an organization that I am. But when I see them and I talk to them, I say, they be like, you skated. Be like, you know what it is, Junior the Truth. No, I'm not saying you a hater, you a skater. I'm saying that you can verify what I'm talking about. There are guys that earned it and guys that were given it. As far as you can win a belt at 147 pounds, Bud Crawford was given it. He was given a shot at the weakest champion in his first fight in the division. That's called skating. Am I bullshitting? Am I lying? Compare what Sean Porter had to do to get his IBF belt the first time, and the people he had to fight to keep it. Sean Porter has had to fight Kell Brook. He had to fight Kell Brook. He's had to fight Adrian Bronner. He's had to fight at least a Paulie Malignaggi. He had to fight Errol Spence Jr. He had to fight Keith Thurman. He had to fight Danny Garcia. All of that to get where he's getting. That is a much harder road than Terrence Crawford's road. Much harder road. Am I lying? Somebody tell me I'm lying. But y'all want to act like everybody else is skating. Said Bud, hey, Junior 2 said Bud a skater, bro. He is skating. He's clearly skating. That's what they do at Top Rank. They skate. They skate. Like they get their rollerblades. You know what they say? Escalator to the what's that line from Biggie Smalls? What is it? What do you say? Like the road to success, stairs to success. He's like, I'm taking the stairs to success, escalator style, where you just put your feet on that motherfucker and you just go up. Other people got to walk stair after stair after stair after stair, but you just walk on up. Now, Bud ain't skated like some other cats have skated. But let's not get it twisted. Bud has not had the journey of a Floyd Mayweather Jr. through lightweight. Okay? If you lean, but I don't see how you sit there and go in on a man, you put me in timeout because I asked you how he was pound for pound. I said this to you a little over a month ago, and you didn't want to hear it. I don't give a fuck what you say. You're rude. First of all, Roscoe P. Coltrane, I don't know who the fuck you are, nor do I remember what you said to me. Okay? But I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't time you out. Somebody in here timed you out. If you're talking to me, I don't give a fuck what you think. How about that? We can just cut straight to the chase. I ain't interested in your preachy shit. I ain't in the mood. You a wildcat? No, I'm not. I'm honest. Get the fuck out, homie. You don't know what I said. You're just making up some shit complaining for attention. Get the fuck out, dude. Why you time me out? I never timed you out. See, I don't time people out. I throw people out. Just so you know. I don't time people out. I throw people out. And it is what it is. You probably said some stupid shit like that to somebody and they threw you the fuck out. Nobody here want to hear that shit out of you. Fuck out of here, man. Find somebody else. Go play with. Kids, I mean, dude, cats be thinking like you got to be their friend or something. I don't owe you nothing. I don't owe you my friendship. I don't owe you my respect. None of that. You earn it. Okay? There's a whole lot of people I talk to every day, man. We don't disagree with stuff and they don't come in. How can you be pound for pound? If you say, I say he's pound for pound the best because I think Bud Crawford is the pound for pound the best, dummy. In this video, I never said he wasn't the pound for pound best. I can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time, dummy. He won belts at 135. He unified at 140, and he's the 147-pound champion. The guy had the ability to make 135 pounds and win a belt. He unified 140 pounds, and now he's at 147. That is pound for pound. Guess what? Pound for pound, dummy, is hypothetical. It's theoretical. It's not something that's real, okay? It's just, who do you think pound for pound? Oh, I take Bud. It's my opinion. I'm not arguing opinion here. We're talking about who the best 147-pounder is based on who they've actually fought. It's not difficult. Your dumb ass is trying to switch me, trying to make me act like I agree with you. I don't agree with you. I think Bud is the best pound for pound fighter in the world. I do. And I think Errol Spence Jr., and I think he needs to fight somebody in 147. Those are mutually exclusive. Those are mutually exclusive thoughts. I think Terrence Crawford is the best pound for pound fighter in the world. If he moves to 154 pounds, I think Jermell Charlo will beat him. There you go. Not complicated. But let me get out of here, man, because I'm running over. Much love to everybody in the super chat. I know you guys are going to immediately go right over there to my man, KQKC Boxing, who's coming up to next. And yeah, Brian G, he's a dummy. Because people want to do that shit. They want to make your argument something that is not. This dude's going to try to rephrase what I said to some agreement with him. I said that Terrence Crawford needs to fight somebody at 147 pounds. I didn't say he wasn't the best pound for pound fighter in the world. Those aren't the same thing. And that's probably why I told you to shut up, because you try the little corny debaters tactics. Okay? Don't try to straw man me, switch up some shit and try to make me an argument that I said something I didn't say. Anyway, it is what it is. Much love to everybody in the chat. And with that, I'm out. Peace.